All right, Peter, so we're going to start this video off talking about, of course, what happened over the last weekend, and that is, of course, LeBron James breaking Michael Jordan's most consecutive 10-point streaks.
Yep.
Obviously, now LeBron has 868
Yes.
as of today, and Michael Jordan had 866. And I was watching Undisputed today with Skip and Shannon. I love Skip somewhat, but I'm more Shannon's my dude on that show. But just talking about that topic with Chris Broussard, there was some situation where, Skip Bayless was like, this isn't really that impressive. Michael Jordan broke his leg, so he couldn't score more points. He was forced out.
That's what I would call it, an addiction. It was borderline. It was up there.
But the gambling issues that are rumored, they're not factual, so they're alleged. No shooting the messenger here. But, with all this, what do we think about this achievement that LeBron has right now over Michael Jordan?
Well, first of all, Skip Bayless is the first guy to come at LeBron and make claims that he makes excuses for when he loses championships.
Yeah.
And yet, here's Skip Bayless immediately coming to make excuses for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan doesn't need excuses.
Mm-hmm.
That record stood for itself. He went 866 games. An incredible feat. LeBron James just happens to be the most durable player in NBA history.
Yeah.
That's what it is. People like Skip Bayless who will never accept the fact that LeBron is close to being Michael Jordan's equal, if not already there. This is just what we're going to have to deal with, honestly, forever. As long as these people don't accept the fact that LeBron James is that good, it is what it is. Like, I've just come to accept it. Like, Skip Bayless, I expect nothing less from this guy. Honestly, Michael Jordan or LeBron could win the next 5 straight championships in a row, and he still would not get the credit from Skip Bayless that he deserves. It's a fact.
Yeah. I think with Skip Bayless, his whole thing is just because he has had this, I think with people that watch basketball in the 90s that are, 20 years older and above, they have this fascination with Jordan, the whole cult movement with what happened with the Jordan brand shoes, the whole 6 for 6, taking a break, played baseball. I think people just in that time had a infatuation with Jordan. They never wanted to see him really struggle through anything. We didn't really, and I think Chris Broussard brought this great point up, we didn't really critique Michael Jordan on a game-to-game basis. Otherwise, if it was like today, I think it would be a whole different story. And I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think Skip would have a different opinion of Michael Jordan if he covered him daily like he did on this talk show. Because obviously, he was a news reporter for the Chicago Tribune and the other papers like that. And they were really just covering, it wasn't a daily thing in some aspects where we see him on TV. And, the next person that has the record for most 10s is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Mm-hmm. And he was probably a durable player as well. But like you said, I think this just proves and goes to show that LeBron James is the most durable player in NBA history. And we have to look at that and take that into an account and appreciation when we think about LeBron James during his whole career.
Yeah, and I'm gonna mess up a couple dates here and years probably, but just bear with me. LeBron James, barring a 9 or 8 point game back in 2009, already had a streak over 160 games plus 10 points, right? So if you want to make excuses for LeBron, minus that game, LeBron's streak is at 1,000 games, right?
Yeah.
You could easily make that excuse for him. Something happened, whatever the case was, that game in 2009. LeBron's streak is far and away the biggest of all time. But nobody's doing that. LeBron did it anyway, came back from a 160-game streak that ended, and now he has the record. So the saltiness knows no ends, right?
No.
It's people who don't want to give LeBron James any credit for what he's been able to do as far as being one of the greatest basketball players of all time, if not the second, maybe the first in some people's eyes. I don't even have a lot to say with it. Like, Michael Jordan played in an era with no social media. There was not a lot of critics of people's play at the time because you didn't have Twitter videos of people getting dunked on.
Yeah.
You didn't have Twitter videos of memes making fun of players for messing a little tiny thing up in games. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan was not the perfect basketball player. He's pretty close. He made mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
LeBron James lives in a tough day and age to be a basketball player, and it sounds like I'm making an excuse for him, but it is a pretty fair point to make that this guy deals with the most criticism any sports athlete has ever faced. And if you look back all the way to 2009, 2010, when he did lose a championship game to the Mavericks, what was that, 2011 actually?
Yeah, 2011.
Skip Bayless was on his high horse saying LeBron James is the ultimate choke artist, has no clutch gene, as he likes to say.
Yeah, the clutch. The famous clutch gene, the infamous.
I mean, it's foolery, you know? I don't have much to say. Skip Bayless, I don't enjoy Skip Bayless whatsoever. My good friend Bernie here does appreciate him somewhat, but I think the guy just likes to talk and, you know, stir up drama. And if he can say anything negative about LeBron James and positively emphasize how good Michael Jordan was, he's going to do it every chance he gets.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to the Skip Bayless thing, making excuses for Michael Jordan, I just think about this. If he didn't have this addiction, this rumored addiction, and a great video to watch is Mike Korzemba. I think that's what the guy's name is. He's a YouTuber. Mike Korzemba. He made a good video about the conspiracy theory of Michael Jordan and the infamous gambling situation, and that's like allegedly what got his father killed.
Yeah.
And the reason why he moved to baseball. And you could honestly skip, if you want to look at anything, blame Michael Jordan for not having the streak anymore. It was on him to keep the streak going. He could have had 1,000 plus.
Yep.
But he had this gambling addiction. I think if we would have criticized him, or if we would have put Michael Jordan in the spectrum that we do now in the social media like we talked about, everyone would be on Michael Jordan's butt about how he's a gambler, he's addicted to spending money. I mean, bad teammate. I mean, there's just a lot of situations like that. And I think Skip Bayless is so blinded by the Michael Jordan allure.
Fanboy.
Like,
isms.
The 90s isms. Like, just in love with that 90s style of basketball. You just don't appreciate it. It's almost kind of like what... I'm guilty of doing this too. Kind of like with video games and stuff like that. Where, you know, it's just like, oh, you know... Halo 3 was one of the best video games of all time.
That era was perfect.
Like, the era was perfect. And
I'm guilty too.
And we're all guilty of doing it sometimes, but we also have to put in perspective of how great some of the newer games are. Like Fortnite, for example, is taking over.
Yeah.
Doing its thing.
No, I agree.
In terms of just creating a new fan base.
The other thing, too, last point I want to make about LeBron, just in comparison to Jordan, too, is you can talk all day about his physical durability, which is just a fact that LeBron is the most physically durable player of all time. But mental durability. This guy's never been in trouble with anybody off the court. Not really even on the court, really.
Yeah. Never slid into any DMs.
You know, this guy doesn't get in trouble. And in the day and age where everybody is guilty of something, to have nothing ever come out about yourself it speaks volumes about the character of LeBron James and his mental durability. Michael Jordan literally had to leave the game of basketball for a year, retire at a different time. LeBron has never done that. He's gone to 7 straight finals. He's played 15 years in a row, and he has no signs of stopping anytime soon.
Exactly.
Jordan didn't do that, and you can never take that away from LeBron. Whatever you Jordan fanboys want to say, he left basketball. What does that say about him? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, LeBron never did that. Mental durability is coming into question right there for Jordan.
Yeah, which is exactly why it's laughable to me where people are like, oh, LeBron James is mentally weak because, you know, he doesn't make the clutch shots, and thanks to Ray Allen, he got his championship save.
Just look at Kevin Durant. The guy's been to 1 finals in a row, won it, and now he's like getting a T every other game. Like,
he's getting ejected.
He's getting ejected. Like, LeBron has been to 7 straight. Right? And he's never out there, like, he complains, but he's not getting teased. He doesn't get ejected. He's been ejected twice in his career, maybe once.
One happened this year. Fair,
It was this year. I think it's his only one he's ever had. I think KD has 4 this year.
5. But, I mean, that's exactly the thing. And we also, you know, we can't forget about the Twitter stuff with KD, you know, explaining why he left the Thunder, how, you know, weak the Thunder franchise was. I mean, there's just a lot of situations with all these different basketball players. I think all of us, including ourselves, you know, we all have some insecurities. But we, you know, just talking about just NBA players, us as, you know, just people in general, they have their insecurities about certain situations and stuff like that. And that just goes to show you that some of us have a better resolve of how to deal with things, and that's what LeBron James has throughout his whole career. And to say that he's mentally weak is laughable to me. To say that he can't handle certain situations is laughable, because he's probably one of the from where he grew up and how he started out. Mm-hmm. You have to be mentally tough to get out of there.
Not only that, but just to create the empire the guy has.
Yeah.
While nobody's ever done it the way LeBron has done it. No. Michael Jordan wasn't an NBA player by the time he started his empire of business. It's the same thing kind of with Jay-Z in the hip-hop game. He had kind of taken a step away from making music to build his music empire and start making business decisions. Same thing with P. Diddy. LeBron James is being currently the greatest basketball player in the world and an incredible businessman. He makes a lot of great decisions. Mm-hmm. He has companies that he owns that do a lot of things. So when the 6 for 6 thing is the thing people always talk about with Michael Jordan, and nobody will ever top that. Obviously, it's nearly impossible to ever do that. I don't think we'll ever see anybody do that.
Probably not.
It would have to be an incredible streak of luck in a really weak NBA just league for that to happen. But
Lonzo Ball,
that one thing doesn't dictate.
Speak into existence, LeVar.
Speak it. That doesn't dictate everything about greatness, right? And I know a lot of people say the championships and rings are the one thing that dictate it, but there is a lot of factors into that. Mm-hmm. And just outside of basketball, I haven't heard a lot of people speak of LeBron in a way that's negative. Like, he does so many great things for his community. Just as a human being, he's a good person, and that's, I don't know. It's just this question of him being a weak person and not being up to the level of Michael Jordan, I think is just one of the biggest fallacies in all of sports history. Yeah,
I agree with you there. I think just thinking about, that 2011 NBA Finals, LeBron writing the list of people he's going to badmouth. Mm-hmm. And then I think that was kind of the fuel that led to the fire of the Skip Baylesses of the world and just guys on Twitter like that, the Twitter trolls. Yeah. Social media trolls, really, of just really discussing, saying that, LeBron's mentally weak. Just look at that 2011 Finals, which, to be fair, in their defense, he was not the best player in that Finals, and he didn't play to his standard that we're used to and accustomed to.
Yeah.
But now, just thinking about how they use that to grow, it's almost kind of like what Jordan and the Pistons, when he went up against the Pistons, he used that experience to grow and become a better player. Mm-hmm. And once the pieces fell into place with him, especially when Scottie Pippen came in, that's when he grew as a basketball player to become one of the greatest of all times. And that's, I think, what LeBron has done.
Yeah.
Through that 2011 experience, through that 2007 experience, he's grown. It's all about just the growing process. Like, I think that's probably the main emphasis of everything. It's a oven baked process. It's not a microwave process.
Mm-hmm. I know I already said this once, but last thing I want to say for LeBron James too. The biggest thing for Michael Jordan I always look back on is the one year that he left the Bulls and Scottie Pippen helmed the team and he was the guy. That team went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. Scottie Pippen was second or third in the race for the MVP that year, and the team was really, really, really good even without Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You can never look back at a LeBron James team that he left the year after and say anything even near that for those teams. Look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were one of the worst teams in the league the year after he left. Mm-hmm. Miami Heat still had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, mind you, a little bit past their primes. They were nowhere near where they were with LeBron James. That year that Michael Jordan left, the Bulls were still probably a top 4 team in the entire NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
LeBron's never left a team in that good a shape because LeBron is that good. Point. Checkmate. Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless. But anyway, guys, we want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think that we're just being haters of Michael Jordan? Do you think that the salty Michael Jordan fans are wrong? And what do you think of this whole argument of LeBron James versus Michael Jordan? We'd like to know your comments down below.
Yeah, and to anybody who says we're haters, there's no hate coming towards Michael Jordan. It's just about mutual respect for both of the guys. And making excuses for one of the greatest players of all time is about as stupid as it gets on Skip Bayless's part, in my opinion. We're not making excuses for LeBron. We're just pointing out facts for his career in comparison to the facts of Michael Jordan's career. So take that how you will. Anyway, guys, appreciate you.
Let's move on.